Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be coming to you live on a Monday night. I think actually this is like my first Facebook Live on a Monday night. So congratulations, Dr. Chuck. You get to have the award for that, the Monday night Facebook Live guys. Welcome, welcome.
Okay.
I'm super excited to welcome my good friend and coaching client, Dr. Chuck Newby. Dr. Chuck practices way up in northern Michigan. He's a Youper. For those of you who are either from Michigan or know what that term means, it means that you live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Dr. Chuck is a veteran in the world of chiropractic. So instead of having me ramble on about him, Dr. Chuck, let's just start with, and hi, Brenda. So Brenda Smart is a past client, a practice member of mine from 100 years ago when I was in practice. And she's so faithful to be on like every single Facebook Live I do. So thank you so much. It's always fun to see your name popped up, Brenda. And I really appreciate you being here. So Chuck, let's just start with, how did you get here? Like, how long have you been in practice? Hi, Dr. Christie. How long have you practiced, and let's go from there.
Well, I been in practice about 38 years. I'm going on 38 years
That is so
this
awesome.
fall, and love to practice. And of course, like all us docs, we need some help once in a while to get ourselves going again. Sometimes we fall short of what we want to do, and that's why I developed a relationship with you years ago. I don't remember how many years ago, but I think it was maybe 8, 10 years ago. We did the 180 day program
Yeah.
where you got me in gear again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yep.
the 0 to 180 in 90 days or less. So Dr. Chuck did that program. So that would have been 13 years ago, Dr. Chuck.
Wow. See, I was saying about 10.
Yeah.
That's how fast it's going by.
Yeah, that's so cool. So for all of you listening, if you didn't catch that, Dr. Chuck has been in practice for 38 years. So talk about staying power and someone who believes in chiropractic and loves helping people. That's definitely this guy right here. That he, like many of us, care, don't carry, never chase, but unfortunately has been carrying and carrying, and it's definitely taken its toll. So, Dr. Chuck, let's go back to here's this question: why are you mounting a comeback? Like, why
Well,
not just like keep practicing the way that you were before we started talking at the beginning of this year again?
I about 5 years ago, I developed some unfortunate health issues, and it stems back for about 20 years when I had my amalgams taken out of my teeth, and it was done very unsafely, and it took about 20 years for the mercury to actually attack my heart and attack my brain. And about 5 years ago, I started declining in some very severe health issues, and it did quite a bit of damage to my left side of my heart. So that was the main reason why I started struggling with practice, because I could barely function. And I didn't want to give up practice, and I only gave up practice for maybe short periods of time through my recovery, and I continue unendlessly to look for answers to help myself get healthier. I've been a clinical nutritionist for 38 years. I have endless amount of resources out there, people that I've met, through the years of chiropractic. Dr. Dick Versendahl, who's, was a mentor of mine for many, many years. Unfortunately, if anybody knew him, he was killed tragically in a car accident a couple of years ago. But right now I'm working with his daughter, Dawn. But he actually, a few years ago, before anybody ever diagnosed me, he told me I was in heart failure. And I guess I didn't believe him until I finally went and got some medical testing, and he was right. And then we basically narrowed it down through a lot of testing that I did on my own and consulting with holistic cardiologist, and we did find out that the mercury level in my heart and my brain and my body was very extensively high. And so it's kind of left me with only about a 15% function in my left ventricle. So it is a challenge for practice. I guess I love chiropractic so much, I don't want to give it up. I consulted you because I wanted to look for different avenues. I'm practicing a little bit different than I did years ago. I used to see a little bit higher volume. And as I learned more about myself and how to treat my type of illness, I really learned a lot holistically to help a lot of severe issues. So that's where my practice has actually gone. It's gone semi the worst case there is out there, because I think I have the tools to figure out what I can do for you and hopefully turn your health around. So I'm working on that, and I was at a dilemma. I guess needing I got all these things out here that I know I need to do. Okay, the one thing, what is the one thing?
Good job. That's awesome.
So I know I thought about you, and what was really cool is you were sending out some of these emails, which got me reading your emails, and some of the things you were saying were hitting home with me that, hey, I need some help here. I need to figure out where, I've been in management most of my career. I was with CATS management, integrity management, Landis Ward management. And so, I have some of this understanding of running a practice, developing procedures. So I have this large amount of information, but I go, where do I start again here? What can I do in my capacity to see people integrate what I can do at the level that I know I can function at, but yet have a profitable practice. And that's what I've not been doing. And without going into a lot of detail, lots of things had to transpire for me to stay in practice. And that's going deep into debt, unfortunately. Maxing out loans, credit cards, everything to keep up the expenses. And so basically, I talked with my wife, we can't keep going along this path because it's a path that's going to end in my practice, not be able to support our family, ourselves anymore, unless we start turning this around and start heading in another direction. Not we're stagnated, we're holding at the same level, and at the level we're at right now, it's not making a profit. So that's when I wanted to consult you and get your help to start. Let's attack the steps first here that need to be done. And some of my practice, there's some foundational issues there that need to be corrected. There's a lot of things that we want to do, but it's always, my wife and I always say, let's go back to the basics. The basics are what's important, and that's what you're going to build your practice on and develop your foundation. So is that enough?
That was awesome. And so I hope those of you who are watching now and will watch later that you can tell how big this guy's heart is. So Dr. Chuck has a gigantic heart, and I think the majority of chiropractors that I've met along the way have gigantic hearts. And I hope no one ever says that gets in the way. It doesn't get in the way. That is an amazing quality to have, to care so deeply for people. But what you have to learn is how to use that amazing attribute of deeply loving people and deeply caring for them, and how you still make sure that you offer them your service of chiropractic care, because sell or be sold, right, Chuck?
Yes.
That if we don't then make sure that they're buying a program of care that fits their needs, that it delivers the results they're looking for, we haven't provided any value. And the reality is they will spend whatever that amount of money was that we had asked them, or that we failed to ask them for, and they'll go down the road and spend that and more and not receive the value and not receive the results that we know that we can give them. And so I want to congratulate Dr. Chuck for doing some hard things and doing some real soul searching in the last little while here, since we've been coaching together, and has now just had March was his best month in practice in the last 18 months. So let's talk about that. How did you do that comeback, King?
Well, it was prioritizing what I needed to do. I needed to start this, like I said, going back to basics. Getting the patients to a multiple schedule, working on care plans. And I think the biggest thing is gaining back some confidence as far as, as being a doctor, telling the person what they need. And basically, taking those steps and knowing, that your recommendations are for the best outcome for that patient. And the patient has to follow your lead in that. And that's why they came there to see you. And so I've been using that approach and not talking as much as I used to. Just basically saying, we need to do this because you need to have this done because this is what's going to get you better and this is what's going to get you better faster. And there's like virtually no argument.
Why do you think that is? Like, why is it that the struggle that you were in before of, I just want to give and give and give, and then no one, like, that will make them like me. And now instead you're saying, hey, I'm the leader. I can show you what to do. Like, how has that transformed your relationship with your practice members? And now, like you said, now that you're taking the lead, there's no argument. But if all you do is just kind of like keep placating them, there's an argument. Like, describe that situation, like the before and after.
Well, I think I always had to really convince them completely before they'd accept that. And I still believe in educating them, on whatever service that I'm going to do, but take the authority, and they've come to us, to get well, that I'm making the right decision for them, so they can respond and and get the care and results that they need to get. So I think that's been a big help right there. And there's been a lot of other things.
Yeah.
We're doing our morning huddles, which we're looking at the whole day, looking even at the day before and seeing what we might have missed, what things we got to be sure that we're implementing during the day. Looking at potential video testimonies that we could start setting up, referrals, asking for referrals. We talked about that today. Getting packets set up, for that.
Yes.
So that there's just lots of things that we're implementing that just needs to be done, instead of just doing the same thing, like in your action plan. Just staying the same. You're getting the same results.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. Yeah. So, and I think everybody's feeling that expansion, and when I feel a little bit of that overwhelming, I go, hey, I'm doing that. Overwhelming is a good thing, because if we're not getting some overwhelming, then we're staying the same. We're doing the same thing. We're not doing anything to grow.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And, I just want to, if it's okay, I want to touch on something that you said there. And now I have to take my thoughts back for a second. All right. So what you said was, I used to talk too much, and Dr. Chuck and I have talked about this a lot. And if you're a chiropractor and you're talking in hopes of convincing your practice member. I got to tell you, what you're probably talking about, the reason you're having to talk so much is because you're trying to sell that practice member on the value of chiropractic care instead of on the value of the result that they saw. So if you caught it, Dr. Chuck said, you have to keep in mind, why did they begin care? They never picked up the phone and called you and made a reservation. That's my new word instead of appointment, made a reservation because it's like the busiest restaurant in town. They want a reservation in your office. I love it. So you're welcome to take this if you're watching it today. But at any rate, their come from or their draw to your practice likely wasn't education. Their draw to your practice, especially in Dr. Chuck's practice, because he has a very niche practice, is they've been everywhere. Their health is rapidly declining and they have nowhere else to turn. So that's who Dr. Chuck attracts. And it's not just somebody who's in desperate pain. It's somebody who's really and truly at the end of their rope. And Dr. Chuck does a great job bringing them back. And typically, if you don't know what your niche is likely a version of your past self. So Dr. Chuck has walked in these same exact desperate footsteps that his niche has walked in. And so he's able to relate to them. He gets it. So what happens is if we're not selling the result, if we're not selling the practice member on the way to get there, not on chiropractic value, but on the value of living healthier, on the value of moving from where they are to where they want to be. Like our job is to illuminate their current circumstance and then to show them where they want, to pull out from them where they want to go. And then it's much easier. So the reason that Dr. Chuck doesn't have to talk as much is because he's just focused on one simple thing, the plan, right? Then you don't have to convince them because all it is let's get going on the plan. We can teach as we're walking along, but let's get going. Does that kind of summarize what you've experienced, Chuck?
Yeah, definitely, because we have a lot to accomplish and people are desperate. They're looking for answers everywhere. They've been down the road to many type of practitioners.
Yeah.
And they've heard some good things about our practice through referrals and other results and things like that. And, they're ready to have a life-changing experience and wanting to move in a better direction, where they've been going no change or continuously, getting worse. So a lot of people are, they're ready.
And so what happened on Friday?
As far as this past Friday?
Treatment plan, right? Somebody
yes.
needed several services, and instead of playing Monty Hall, let's make a deal, what did you do instead?
I just laid it out what the person needed. They understood why they were there. They understood that they were looking for a solution. We had a solution for them, and I actually didn't even have to go over the treatment plan with them. They just accepted it right off the bat. It was like amazing. For sure in the past I've been talking way too much.
That's awesome. Dr. Chuck texts me. He's like, I sold a big treatment plan, the Pumbaa, the big daddy of treatment plans. And so here's the deal. So something I want to touch on real quickly. It is not our job to tell practice members while they're there. And you probably heard in what Dr. Chuck said, he shifted that around. It's our job to find out why they're there and then to show them this is the solution. This is this is how you'll get that thing that you're looking for, the why, right? So Dr. Chuck is doing a great job in that. So let's talk real quickly. So Dr. Chuck and I are doing private coaching, which is one-on-one. We meet every day and every week. And the cool thing is I also am getting to train his team, which has been real fun. And Dr. Chuck is doing a great job being a leader and being convicted of the results that he wants and being convicted of how this is how I want my practice to be. And even though there's some uncomfortable parts in that, he's holding the line and I'm really proud of him. And let's talk about, if it's okay, what do you think about the boot camp?
I think the boot camp is, like I told you on probably one of my text messages, the timing couldn't be any better. Because as what I'm trying to do right now, just coaching with you, I don't know if the boot camp, when you had decided you wanted to do that, but it just couldn't have fell at a better time, because it's continued to actually stretch me a little bit more. And
Yeah.
what I like is the daily modules and the teachings.
Yeah.
It's like what we really got to do is we have to change our mind and get that subconscious to quit sabotaging, what we want to do. And I think that's the hardest thing to overcome, is right there, because we're just used to doing the same thing, and we have all of these negative things coming in, and preconceived ideas, that we've developed for who knows what, from other people or things we read, or other practitioners or whatever. And we basically set our boundaries and limitations.
Yeah.
We don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
And so that's helping me focus, because I can feel some of the the barriers there, some of the resisting, from where where I'm talking about.
Yes.
But I'm saying, hey, that means I'm doing something.
Yes.
I'm feeling that, like Grant said, if nobody's complaining, or nobody's saying anything, or they're just going along with the ride, all of them, well, you're not making much of an impact.
No.
You're kind of doing the same thing you've been doing. You're getting the same result.
There you go, right? So remember, in Thurman Fleet's model, that's the bondage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the X and X. Ooh, it just started getting really yucky feedback. So so let me ask you this: now that you're going through the boot camp, are you able also to see, like, all right, so here now it's a new awareness. Are you able to better investigate, like, see your own scotomas? That's like one of the values I've always found in having a personal coach, is they can help see my blind spots that I have, like, literally been blinded for. And now with the boot camp, are you able to take that knowledge and use it, not to beat yourself up, but more so like, oh yeah, now it's making sense.
Yeah, like I catch my subconscious all the time. Just bringing in those thoughts in. You can't do this, or this is creating too much rough ground. And, all kinds of things. Just turn that right off and just say, this is what I have to do.
Yeah.
I got to do this. This all makes great sense, and I have to do it. If I keep going, if I let my subconscious keep controlling that, I'm not going to accomplish the goals.
Yes. And that's a really great way to put it. Like, who's in control? Is it your subconscious? Or is it your dream?
Mm-hmm.
So very good.
Yeah.
So in closing, what last minute words do you have, or advice?
Well, I would definitely recommend, if some doctor out there, he loves chiropractic, or also still needs to develop more passion for chiropractic. Either one. He's got these goals, he's got these dreams, not only for himself, but things that he wants for his practice members, because of his heart or concern, and things that he wants to do, for people as a whole, to gain their health back. And invest in somebody that will, give them that foundation. Give them a little bit of a lead, where to go, how to redevelop that spark, and you want to make practice fun, and you want to be there, to enjoy what you're doing. The rewards are, I can't tell you about the rewards. We get rewards every day.
Yep.
Back from our practice member, but we want to also make the business side of it also enjoyable. We don't want that to be. It's going to be challenging. Never is, but let's don't make it where we lose the opportunity to help people because we don't know how to run our practice properly and have it in an organized fashion.
Great point, Dr. Chuck. Absolutely. So I know I'm getting feedback on my end. I apologize. My last question is this. So a doctor who isn't in the boot camp and is considering the boot camp and they really want to be in an practice like yours, where it's a practice member who has no other option. All right, Dr. Carr. Do you feel that the boot camp is a place that they can also get that mentorship from a chiropractor like you?
I didn't quite hear you on the very last.
Yeah, so in the boot camp, is that a place they can mentor like you to give them some feedback and help them along?
Oh, definitely, and not just me, but many of your doctors out there. I think everybody has a certain gift in certain areas, and I think with the sharing, like we talked about some issues we're having with our software, and there's probably somebody out there that knows it better than I do and have been using it longer. So I just think it's a way to help each other, because sometimes, I don't know if you ever felt this way, but feel like they're on an island here by themselves. And we don't associate enough or talk to each other, and we don't work together. And so a lot of times we're sitting there struggling and thinking that we're just going, and maybe a colleague of you has the answer, or you might have an answer for them in another area. And I've been developing those relationships with another quite regularly now. It's been great. Getting adjusted weekly or every 2 weeks. He's got the same philosophy I do. I go see him, he comes see me. We're collaborating a lot. We're sharing ideas. We're doing a few things socially, and I think I don't know. I've never had much of that, through my career, but I think it's important.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know it's 8:30 where you are. So thanks for letting us eat up some of your evening.
I want to say one more thing. You're an excellent presenter and teacher and coach, and I'm really happy that I'm working with you again. Mm-hmm. And it didn't take long for us to reconnect.
I know.
And I was that time you picked up the phone, I was so glad to hear your voice.
Yeah, me too. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job, and you're a great me. And I just want to say keep up the great work.
Thank you. And if anybody ever needs to talk to me too, we can do it on Facebook or however.
Oh, thanks.
Be glad anytime.
That's really nice of you. All right. Well, thank you. God bless you.
God bless you too.
We'll catch you the next time.
Okay. Good night.
Right. Bye-bye.